Good evening, everyone. I'm Drake, and welcome to Magical Coffee Hour. Sorry about the slight delay in starting. Apparently, there was a glitch on one of the things. We had to refresh, but we got it up and going. I'll be honest, that glitch has me wondering. I'm going to run something. I might mention something on that. We will see. Arc Dragon, good to see you. Pipe Smoking Heathen, good to see you. Jack O'Lantern, welcome. Or Jackie O'Lantern, welcome. Blue Star, good to see you. We are live here on YouTube as well as over on Rumble. For those of you who use Rumble, also I would recommend following us in both locations in case anything happens. There's a lot of weird things happening in social media these days. We also do have a locals community. Consider following us there. I actually highly recommend it. You can find the link below any of the videos or at workingdragonmystic.com. That is the heart of our community over there. That's where all of our announcements are going to be. That's where literally we put everything. And we even have locals only content for both members and supporters. So consider following us there. Hopefully, you all are having a great week and a great weekend. We do have the super chats on. So if you give a super chat, a tip, or anything like that, I'm not sure what they're called at locals. I think it's called tips. Of $5 or more, with or without a question, you're entered into spell working for prosperity, well-being, luck, all those wonderful blessings. Just so you all know. And if you have a question, we get busy because we do get busy in the chat quite often, and it gets missed. You can do a super chat of any amount. It'll flash it up on the screen here and make sure I see it. So yeah, there we go. Let's get into this. What do you all say? So first off, you'll notice in the thumbnail and in the title, it said New Beginnings. Now, last week we talked about, or earlier, was it last week? I think it was last week. We did talk a little bit about new months, new beginnings, and how I do those things, how I handle those things in my scheduling. So why would I be talking about new beginnings 2 weeks in a row? That don't make no sense. Drake, are you getting lazy? Actually, no, I'm not. Hey, mugs up, pipe smoking heathen. Appreciate the super chat. Mugs up to you, mate. Let's see. We got a few people jumping in here. Hey, Gabriel, been a while. Question: Are lizards and other reptiles related? No, lizards and reptiles are not related to dragons in any shape, form, or fashion. I love the neener, by the way, heathen. I really do. Violet Star, good to see you. Angela, welcome. Mathis, good to see you as well. So here's the deal, okay? So I've been getting a lot of emails and a lot of things asking for more content, more coffee hour specifically. They want more content like coffee hour and the roundtables if I can get people to talk to. Because somehow, some way, even though I never thought this would ever happen, apparently people use my content very similar to how people listen to podcasts. To have something to listen to while they're working out, while they're doing their chores, while they're going to and from work. And they like to listen and learn as they do so. And coffee hour has become the, I guess, de facto playlist for a lot of these people because they love not only the banter, the conversations, the information, all that, right? So I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of meditating on this for a while. And I'm going to be making some changes to coffee hour. Okay. So currently, the way it's set up, my weekend is a little weird, to be honest. So I have a little bit of time on Saturdays where I try to get everything done. I do mean everything. And then I hang out with friends, go to bed, get up. I usually get up, get some coffee, get some ritual work done, get some of my morning routine done. Then I have to set the stream up to make sure it's up, notifies everybody. You all know there's going to be a stream, those kinds of things. Then I try to squeeze in a little relaxation in there just in time to shift my brain back to work and jump back into work for about an hour or 2 or 3, depending on how long coffee hour and admin meetings and stuff are. And then jump back out, try to get back into weekend mind so I can relax just to start Monday and hit the week, right? So it's not really much of a weekend. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm actually wanting to do 3 coffee hours a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they will be in the evenings at the same time. So, because a lot of my people, y'all work, you got jobs. I'm proud of you. You got to make a living. That's what we all do, right? So I want to keep it in the evening so more people can actually make it. Now, some of you, I know it's like late and midnight and stuff, so I know you won't be able to catch them all. But even like, I think our people in Britain, it's usually midnight when I'm up here anyway. So you guys are staying up late on a Sunday, going to work on a Monday if you're listening to us, or you're catching the replay in the mornings. So I'm thinking that the changeover will give us more time together as a community, more time to chat, more time to learn. And honestly, it gives me a full weekend. It gives me an actual real weekend, which I haven't had in I don't know how long. And, I actually was thinking about it. Why did I put coffee hour on Sundays? And it's weird because I go all the way back to the beginning. The only reason coffee hour started on Sundays was the co host. That was the only day they were available. And they haven't been here in so long. I don't think most of you even remember they exist. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys won't hate this. Hopefully you guys aren't going to rage quit on me because of the date change. On the upside, you are getting a lot more Drake for your time. So hopefully it balances out a little bit there. If you got any thoughts on that or smart ass remarks, questions, comments, smart ass remarks, as I usually like to tell my admin, do let me know. And yeah, that's one announcement I wanted to do. For something else, I'm actually going to need my phone in a minute. First, I need coffee. Ooh, coffee's good. Let's check and see what we got going on here in the feed, see if I missed anything. I saw a few things. Vicky, good to see you. Have you ever considered doing a symposium-style roundtable, like post a subject on locals and have a sit-in where we discuss it in a group setting, like a college platform? Well, I mean, if you mean on video or something, it would be difficult to get everyone connected on video. And outside of the Zoom calls that we do, I have considered it. Now, if you mean like a symposium chat discussion, post and discuss thing, I have considered that as well. But a lot gets lost in context sometimes with text posting, but I have considered it. If you have some ideas, Heathen, hit me up. I'd love to get together and chat with you and see if we can figure out a way to set that up and make that happen. Because I have actually considered it some. I have. Gabriel, can dragons tell jokes? Yeah. Honestly and truly, even like the pissiest, moodiest dragon, it's rare, but I have heard them tell jokes. There's not a dragon out there. I mean, dragons can tell jokes. Humor is not something that's uniquely human. So yes, dragons can tell jokes. Whether you find it funny is another question, but they will at the very least. Let's see. The red, I feel like I have been given a midwife role to help others give birth to their dreams, ideals, potentials, to provide safe space, but in sacrifice, I'm not allowed much myself. How have you encountered this? Okay, this is actually something we did discuss earlier in the week, discussing our conversation on kindness. I would recommend you look at that because that actually is what you're running into. No matter what your calling, no matter what your purpose you may think is, if all you're doing is giving of yourself and you have no time for yourself, you're absolutely useless in that calling. So if you don't have time for yourself and you don't have time to manifest your own self and take care of yourself, you've already failed at the initial thing you stated. So go check out that video because you need to make sure you're completely taken care of, completely shored up, and you're not in need before you're giving to those other people. If what you're saying, Seti, is your calling, then the first thing you have to do is make sure you are fully taken care of, all your needs are met first before you start divvying out, because all you're doing is going to run yourself down, end up putting yourself in a hole, and then you have nothing to truly give them. And your kindness and help actually will become toxic to you and them. So go back and check out the problem of kindness discussion that we did. I want to say it was just this past week on like Thursday or Wednesday. Hey, Saeed, it has been a while. Hope you're doing well, mate. Let's see. Arc dragons. I want to worship dragons. Any good religions on that? Dragons don't want worship. They won't take it. They don't. If you worship dragons, essentially you're worshiping yourself. They won't even listen to worship. Let's see, Mathis. I listen to you at work while sandblasting. So in a full helmet with air supply. Well, you're in a vacuum with my voice. Man, that's got to be horrible sometimes. Let's see, Magick is awesome. I'm a massive fan of it. By the way, I'm referring to Witchcraft and all that. Magick is magic. I don't care if you call it witchcraft. I don't care what you call it. Magic is magic. Actually, that brings me to a point. So I get a lot of questions and everything throughout the week, and I got one this week. I know I've answered it in other places, but I wanted to go ahead and answer it again tonight just in case. It was posted on YouTube by Sir Findy. I hope I don't mess that name up. And they asked specifically, what is the difference between Norse magic and black magic? And I think I've touched on this, but there isn't a difference. Magic is magic. Magic is simply the manipulation of ether within the multiverse, or as the modern vernacular has become, the manipulation of energy to manifest a result. That is what magic is. Every tradition of magic does this. And the concept of black and white magic is actually, as well, at least in the way we use them, is new. It's relatively new. And it has next to nothing to do with its original origins in its original concept. Because originally the concept of white and black were just two philosophies of a path to ascent. It had nothing to do with the actual magic itself. It was just two philosophical paths to enlightenment or ascent. That's all it was. Had nothing to do with good and evil, had nothing to do with right or wrong, or any of the bullshit that we see tied to white and black magic today. And just the same as that, you have traditions of magic that do utilize magic in different ways and harness it in different ways. Certain paths and traditions resonate with different people for different reasons. For example, I love ceremonial magic. I think it's beautiful. And I find it fascinating when I practice it. But as a go-to magical practice, it's also overly complex, wordy, and I don't get as much out of it because the overly wordy and overly complex rituals just don't resonate with me, no matter how beautiful I may think the practice is, no matter how fascinating I find the practice, it doesn't resonate with me. So I'm not going to get as good of results out of it. The practice and how it resonates with you is kind of an important thing, right? So Norse magic is a system of magic that is pulling from the literature and archaeological sources that we have on the Norse culture that is essentially a reconstruction of what we think their practice might have been. Note, we do not have archaeological records of how they actually practiced. Most of their stuff was oral tradition. There were very, very few things written down. And what was written down is the best source we have is the Codex Regius, which contains stories and stuff like the Poetic Eddas. Of course, Snorri Sturluson also did the Pro Eddas. I think I got but those are the two best sources of stories that we have. And both of those really don't tell how magics are done. There's certain references, like there's one story that talks about an individual with a rune staff under their pillow. And then there's a few places where the way it's written shows that they understood what magic in words were. Most of their magic was even spoken, like Golder. So a lot of the modern concepts that we think of magic just don't have any reference material at all there. So it's all recreation, but it's still based within that literature. Um, and that's, so it's working within that Norse system to the best of our ability. And black magic has become essentially an edgelord term for practicing magic, when the original term, where it came from, the original philosophies for it was magic. Okay, it didn't matter. All magic was magic. It's just this one thing, right? Now, in the pursuit of utilizing this practice to receive ascent or enlightenment, there were two philosophies, right? One was the denial of all the material world in order to essentially leave the material world, because you denied it to the point where you lose interest in it. And a lot of people will tell you that's very, very hard to do, to just ignore, deny, and hope you lose interest in something. But that is a pathway of a lot of spiritual practices that people would do. This one is the one that would essentially eventually get categorized into the concept of light, because it gives away all material concepts. It gives away all self. I mean, you're just, any personal achievements or anything you give away, you're selfless, all those concepts would fall into this philosophy. While on the other side would indulge in the physical world to the point that the world became truly, genuinely boring. Just like if you got to eat your favorite food every day of the week for 5 years, you wouldn't want it. By the end of the first year, you would not want it. If that's the only food you get to eat, you're not going to want it. You will be sick of it. So the other side was the dive in and experience it to the extreme, so that you literally got sick and bored of it, and you began to focus on the other things. Those were the two philosophies. Had nothing to do with good, had nothing to do with evil, had nothing to do with right or wrong or light and dark. None of that. Those were the two original philosophies that would later give rise to what some people term as the left and right hand path, and then eventually became white and black magic, those kinds of things. Okay. That's the reason you don't hear me talk about black magic. You don't hear me talk about white magic, because ultimately these are terms that are, well, in the modern vernacular, they're misused drastically, and they really don't serve a purpose. All right, there we go. Hope that helps. Hopefully, I done forgot your name. My apologies. I am horrible with names. You all know that. Hopefully, Sir Fittendy, if you hopefully you're watching and hopefully you see this, because that will be the answer to your question. I may even try to figure out how to timestamp this so you can see that. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see. Coffee counteracts rage. When in rage, drink more coffee. Don't quit. It does help. It does help. I posted something in locals. It's I haven't had my coffee yet. I'm not very diplomatic. Gabriel, Drake, have you seen Deadpool Wolverine yet? Nope, I have not. I really don't like going to theaters, especially currently where I'm at. I'm on the West Coast, and it's very easy to get a brick thrown at you on the West Coast if you have a Southern accent, because people are dumb and judgy. And so I really kind of bide my time, and you know what? So honestly, I think me and my wife's just going to wait until it's available for purchase or available on one of the few streaming sites that we still have, because we canceled a lot of them because, well, to be honest with you, we don't want to support what they're supporting. So we've canceled a lot of them. But so I'm probably just going to wait until I can purchase it on something like Vudu or something where I can, and watch it in the comfort of my home. I've heard great things about it. I love the fact that Ryan Reynolds wouldn't bend the knee and, put up with a bunch of the crap that honestly would have ruined the series. I'm so happy he got Hugh Jackman to come back. So I've heard great things, absolutely great things. But I'm awaiting. I'll be honest with you. Drake, have you contacted the Fall Equinox Dragon, and are you going to be sharing about them? That's actually something I'm a little bit behind on, Vicky. Full point on that. That is on my to-do list. I'm not going to lie, but that is one of the things I'm slightly behind on, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping will be in the one of the topics for the coffee hours that we'll be doing in the coming weeks. Like I said, I'm moving coffee hour to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have a coffee hour tomorrow since we're doing this one, because I'd have to literally get up, try and cram for that, and then, jump into that. And since I do have a doctor's appointment, a bunch of stuff I got going on this week, it might be easier to just start on Wednesday, just so y'all know. But if I can, I might actually make the Equinox Dragon the first one I do this coming Wednesday, or attempt to get it Friday. Hopefully. That would be goals right there, right? So hopefully that would be doable, but I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I'm totally on top of it, because I'm not. It's been busy. It's been cray-cray over here. So yeah, it's on the to-do list. I'm hoping to do it. I'm really looking forward to it, because if I'm not mistaken, that's the last one we got. And we need to get that one. Thanks for the reminder, by the way. Kern French, do you know when you're going to post the next Higher Ruler videos on locals? Actually, that's something I'm working on too. So I'm wanting, while we're rechanging the schedule, just so those of you on locals know, the reason coffee hour is going to be those 2 days, and then you see Tuesday and Thursday ain't got nothing. Tuesday, Thursday is going to try and be the ones where I dedicate to locals, both the members videos and the supporter only videos. So for the supporters, because I'm pretty sure the Higher Ruler videos are supporters only, those videos I will be doing the next one very, very soon. I don't know if I'll get it this week, but I'm going to try and shoot for getting that one next week. So yeah, thanks for reminding me on those. I like that you all keep me on my toes. I really do. Mathis, thank you for the super chat, mate. Mugs up to you. I got some paranormal experiences I could share with you in planning a project and get back into investigation. Could I email you about it later? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Feel free to email me, whether it's over on Discord. You can direct message me on Discord, or you can email me. My email is workingdragonmystic@gmail.com. That's our business email. That's what I use. I definitely love to hear about paranormal experiences. You can tell, if you want, you can tell me your experiences, and I will read them and share my thoughts on those. That's usually the easier way. Though, if you want to attempt to do tell it yourself in a roundtable format, we can attempt to schedule it. Though I know scheduling can be hard. And well, let's be honest, not everybody wants to be on a camera. Well, to be honest, half the time I don't want to be on a camera. I'm terrified of cameras. So I understand that. So whichever way you want to do it, just email me. I'd love to hear from you. We can discuss it. Let's see. Let's see. We jumped somewhere. Drake, my question is, rant about something you're excited about or with more people would ask about. Oh, God, Angela, that's a tricky one. Let me think on that one. Kevin McGraw, there is only one. No black or white. Yeah, there's only magic. There's only magic. It's straightforward. That simple. Want to be Thelmite here, brothers. I know a lot of good Thelmites. I will say, find a good source of information. I've also seen some pretty bad Thelmite here groups out there. I'm not a good source for Thelmite. I'll be honest with you. I can answer questions to an extent, but by and large, don't. As a Thelmite, that would not be. I would not be a good source of content or information. Let's see. Say I've been on YouTube videos where individuals make pacts with the Goat Man for things in exchange for the Goat Man writes his terms on paper. I'll be honest with you. I've seen those too, and I honestly think every one of them I've seen is bullshit. Pacts don't work that way. First off, they don't work that way. That's a Hollywood ideal, and it's probably people looking for clicks. Everyone I've seen, honestly, I would label them as a bunch of edge lords or people just looking for clicks on the internet. Let's see. We jumped. Crap. Well, at least we know we're busy. Let's see. Let's see. I know love is in the air. Love under. Let's see, Vitki, that's perfectly fine. Take your time to prioritize your priorities. I am working on prioritizing my health. I really am. That's something I've realized I haven't been doing, and I need to do more. So yeah, I appreciate it. Glad you guys can understand. I'll admit, I was a little worried people might be upset that we're switching around the times. But then again, I was like, nah, they get more coffee hours, so they probably wouldn't. Same time of day, not having this same time of day. So you get 3 coffee hours a week at the same time. We're going to start it at the same time, see how that works. If it changes anything, it's going to go slightly later. We'd start later so that people have more time to get home from work. But I honestly think that this is the best time bracket. Looking at all the analytics and everything we got, I think this is just hands down the best time bracket, even if people's jumping in halfway. Plus, we have replays. Whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube, we got replays, which are amazing. Thanks, Rick. Never even considered the roundtable kind of taking back on that. I'll think it over. Hey, look, no pressure, mate, at all. I'm totally down for you just like sharing your experience. Let me know which part of it you want me to share and discuss, if you want me to share and discuss it. Also, if you don't, just let me know. This is just between us. We're cool on that too. I don't mind that either. Whichever way you want to do it. Let's see, Archdragon, if you make an oval table, you can seat more with the eye. You can seat more with the eye opener principles of round tables. To an extent, those principles don't work too well from film. I'll be honest with you. However, at the same time, even if you have a table like in a physical room, that's not the problem. The problem is getting people to the studio, right? First off, Working Dragon Mystic does not make enough to buy a plane ticket for one person, much less multiple people. That's why we really can't do guests unless we're doing it over internet connections. And secondly, I'll be honest, most of my members can't afford a plane ticket. That's just kind of where we're at. I would love to get to the point where Working Dragon Mystic is possibly big enough that we're going, hey, we're going to fly in, grab you a hotel, come on in and have a conversation. That'd be freaking cool. But I don't know if this old redneck's ever going to hit that kind of big time. I don't know. Maybe it takes a Jeff Foxworthy. I don't know. But it'd be amazing if I could get there. I just don't know if that'll ever be us, right? We're definitely at a point where with the censorship and the changes to social media, we are going to have to start focusing more on mainly being supporter funded. So, the local supporters are really going to be what runs this forward as we move forward. just with the changes and I mean, we discussed, potential worries of things that are supposed to be coming in later in the year or next year. Which I actually received a notice of places that are actually directly blocking content based upon the fact that people aren't following speech guidelines in different places. And before y'all wonder, I'm very much a pro free speech. If they want to block my content because I won't bend a knee to them tell me what I can and cannot say, I'm okay with it. They can block it. But that does mean that in order to stand on principles, I may take a financial hit. And guess what? I'm okay with that. You can't threaten me monetarily to give up my integrity and my honor. Right? We talked about honor. We talked about integrity on this channel as part of the Mage Minded series. So, and so those are just things we can do. It's not a matter of the physical table. Like if I have a table, I could put 12 or 20 people around the table I have at this house. I could easily seat 12 or 20 people and have a discussion. I could do that. But it's the getting their butts in the seats physically is the problem. Nah, always do what you see. That's why I love my community, right? I absolutely love my community. Which I was over on Locals doing a short stream, and I totally gave y'all a shout out because, like, our kindness discussion went off into the weeds a little, and we got to talking about a few things, and we was able to have an adult conversation on something that I'll be surprised. I'm surprised YouTube didn't flag that video. I am point blank. I'm surprised. Because I don't know what happened that day. You all know for YouTube, I have a filter that I don't have on Locals, right? Because I'm careful what I say. I don't want us to get demonetized for something stupid so we can reach people and communicate as long as possible, right? That filter seemed to be turned off that day. I don't know what happened. But at the same time, oh man, did it feel good to just be me. It really felt good. But it was so awesome because even though there was difference of opinions, everyone was acting like an intelligent, logical adult. And that felt so amazing for me to see because at least right now where we're stationed, I don't see a lot of that. Like if you disagree with someone's thoughts or opinions where we're currently at, yeah, they kind of rage and throw fit and it's ugly. Tacos are good. I had taco salads this weekend. I decided to go off carnivore, but instead of going like full blown tacos, I went taco salad. We made the taco meat at the house, did everything here. It was yummy. Let's see. Jackie O'Lantern at Chaos Creature. Actually, what foods do dragons like? Technically speaking, dragons don't eat food; they eat ether. That being said, they can technically their digestion system is something like a furnace, so they can really try and eat anything they want. And they have palates very like we do. They will try all kinds of different things. My co-magician, I make jokes all the time and call him a wino because I can't think of the last time I've seen him without a bottle or glass of wine in his hand. The entire time I've worked with him, that has just been what he's always had with him somewhere. Even in my sanctum, when we're talking, when he's in his more humanoid shaped form, there's wine by him. He even has a table to put his wine on in my sanctum across from my desk where I spend most of my time. Up to the point where he's actually let me try wine, showed me the bottle, and then a month or two later, I've seen the bottle in the freaking store, and I bought it because I was like, would this taste the same? Because I'd never seen it, never heard of it prior to him having me try it. Bought the bottle, came home, it was the same freaking wine. It was a really cool experience. But yeah, they like foods. There's plenty of dragons that are foodies, and then there's some that absolutely detest human food. They don't know why we would put that crap in our mouth. Let's see. Let's see. What are the favorite foods of each of the rulers? I've never thought to ask them what their favorite foods were. True. That I don't know why. I do know that Ingus Salor has a penchant for spicy foods, um, but that I think is the only one I actually know. Wait, nope, 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 nope. Um, Air ruler, Zephyr likes tea. He's a tea buff, so he likes different kinds of tea. Let's see. Gabriel wants to know, Drake, out of all the arcane senses, what was the easiest to learn from your experience? From my experience, honestly, the one that came the easiest to me was hearing, and the one that came the hardest was sight. Um, and I was talking with one of my mentors, and she actually is like, that makes a lot of sense because, and she has a theory based on how you grow up and where you grow up. And she's like, she has found, interviewed, and talked to a lot of practitioners, and practitioners who grow up along the Appalachian Mountains or areas like this, where you constantly grow up with stories and myths and legends where you're supposed to be on high alert 24/7, and you're spending a lot of time in the woods and the wilderness. So you're growing up learning to pick up on sounds that shouldn't be there. Like, is there something moving that is out of place? Like, I know the difference between what sounds like a bear in the woods and something that shouldn't be there, right? So a bear, I'm going to hear it, but it's a bear. It's supposed to be there, right? That's not going to put me on high alert as something that's fomping through the woods that is heavy as or heavier than a bear, but moving like a man. Something more Sasquatch is going to, wait, what the crap is that? And because of this awareness and the fact that our arcane senses are nothing special, they're not gifts, they're not blessings, there's nothing about them that makes us special. They're just natural parts of our sensory mechanisms that are picking up more on an etheric level than the physical level. Actually, they pick up on the etheric level. It's just as we grow, most people just tune them the fuck out. But if you're put into those scenarios where your other senses are being forced into a larger perception, those are also kind of tying in with your arcane senses to help you pick up on those. Many of you all who go hunting, you know what I'm talking about. You spend time in the woods and everything, you know every sound. There's sounds around you 24/7, but certain sounds get your attention because that sound shouldn't be there, or you know what that sound is. Whereas you take someone who they haven't been in the woods in 6-7 years or ever, you drop them in the woods, they're just going to be overwhelmed with the sheer multitude of sounds that they don't know them. They don't know the sounds. It's overwhelming because they don't understand how to process that through their senses. The same thing will function through our arcane senses. And because of that, that was her theory. And for me, it makes absolute sense because she's right. When I go into the woods, more than my eyes, I'm using my nose, I'm using my ears, I'm using tactile things to find my way, even in the dark. And many of you know when I started this channel, I had glasses, and I had glasses since a very young age until I got my eye surgery. So I always had glasses, so eye issues were always kind of a thing with me. So I did rely heavier on other senses, even in the woods. And in her research, she thinks that would be the reason. But for me, it was definitely the hearing. And even to this day, like, I can tell you by the sound of the door closing which of my neighbors got home and which vehicle they got home in, because I know the sounds of those doors. And I can do it with the radio on, the TV on, the kitchen fan on, whatever's on, whatever noise is in my house. I can pick out the sound of the door and tell you which vehicle it is, just because sound is that important to me. If that makes sense. I could have probably just lost everyone on that one, but there you go. Oh, you without a filter. I have got to watch that video now. You want me without a filter, Jackie? Catch me on locals, whether it's on a members only, supporter only, or just a locals live where everyone gets to join in. I don't bring my filter over at locals, but it's a hoot. um, so off carnivore means you added some lettuce to the meat. Pretty much, yeah, that's it. That's all I did was I added some lettuce to the meat. You are absolutely correct. Because, well, no, we put some fresh salsa on there. Good fresh salsa. Because literally what my taco salad was like I made my own taco meat, like I said. Plenty of good fat in there. I didn't drain it or anything. We kept all those good fats. Threw that onto some spring mix with some nice shredded cheese, cheddar, hard cheddar is usually where I go, and full fat whole sour cream with no additives. Like I always make sure when I look at it, there's no sugars or carbies or anything. It's just whole pure sour cream. We threw that on there and with some fresh salsa. Called that a day. Went to town on it. It's pretty good too. So for all those vegans and vegetarians who tell me you're going to die because you don't eat vegetables, why is it you hate vegetables? Newsflash, I'm Southern. I like vegetables. I just ain't going to live off them. By the way, every vegetable in existence is better when fried in bacon grease. True story. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You could make let's see, Angela, you can make a carnivore taco shell out of bacon just by, yeah, I've actually seen that and I have tried that and it is delicious. It also takes way more time than I'm willing to invest. Like I am a busy person. So if I have to sit down and weave a basket to make a taco, I ain't going to do it. I just ain't going to do it. I have, like, if I wanted bacon with my taco, I'd probably just put bacon in my taco salad at that point because it's quicker. Point blank. As much as I love to cook and as much as I love food, if I'm taking time, I highly consider my time investment. Like, yes, I will take 16 hours to run a smoker. That is true. I have no problem taking 16 plus hours running a smoker. But when you consider how much meat I can put in that smoker and how much meat I can run for that time and why that smoker is running, I can do other things for the time investment. That time investment actually allows me to get way more than 5-6 pounds of meat per hour very easily and get stuff done around it too. Whereas, like, our oven, I'd maybe get 4 taco shells doing that, and it's going to take the time to weave it and everything, cool it, because you can't put it in there unless it's cooled, because if it's cooled, it's not going to hold together well. And you know, you're looking at honestly an hour or two to get the taco shells done before you ever make it. And I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but I can kill tacos like Gabriel Iglesias. I really can. So 4 taco shells ain't even gonna feed me, much less my poor wife. What's she gonna eat? So yeah, that's the reason I don't go that route. But in the off chance anyone has bacon shell tacos, they're freaking amazing. Let's see. Immortal, anything but meat would be going off carnivore. Absolutely. And here lately, my dinners have honestly been strip steak or chuck steaks. And well, we do a lot of ground beef too on occasion. And butter, which butter's animal. So there you go. But hey, I'm down 10 pounds in the last week. Was it? Yeah, last week I'm down 10 pounds. So I'm happy. Energy's high. Brain's functioning. Been doing good. Let's see, Jackie O'Leonard. I remember the story about the wine tasted the same. Yeah, it was freaking wild. It's just one of those things, you know. It's one of those experiences. Like it's why I tell people you can't really do armchair magician. You can't, because all you are at that point is someone reading a book. You have to get out there. You have to apply it. You have to get the experiences. Otherwise, it's really meaningless. You can't gain experiences by just reading a book. See, Jackie Lantern. The hair ruler likes tea. Yep. Oh, I love me some tea too. I drink a lot of tea. I know it seems weird considering coffee is my go-to beverage, but I like tea. I grew up with an appreciation for it. My go-tos are Earl Grey, Oolong, and Green. Those are my go-to 3 teas. I like to keep those in the house. See, tea and spicy cucumber sandwiches for dragons. I mean, you can give it a try. I'm not a big fan of cucumber sandwiches personally. Don't know why. Because I do like cucumbers, but cucumber sandwiches, I've been big on them. Mathis, now I get the feeling Zephyr still might give Uncle Iroh vibes. I'm not a good one to judge on that. I'm really not, because I didn't even know who Uncle Iroh was. Apparently, I can't tell that story fully on here. I can't tell what I did, but there was an event, a situation that happened, and I was telling the admin about it, and I think it was Bornoldus. It's like, oh my God, you pulled an Uncle Iroh. I was like, who? A what? And he had to explain that to me, and yeah. So I'm probably not the best one. You probably hit Bornoldus up and see if he would agree with that. He might be a good one. Let's see. Oh, we jumped again. Yeah, things can get strange in the Appalachians, especially after dark. Makes camping interesting. I loved camping in the Appalachian. I'll be honest. I cannot wait to get back to Appalachia. I actually spent some time talking with my mom and my aunt this week because I don't remember a lot of the stories my mama Maine told me, and I was hoping they did, because I'm actually wanting to dig up a bunch of the old Appalachian myths and superstitions that I grew up on, and look at them through an occult lens. Like, it's something I've never really done, is go back and look at these myths and these legends, the things I was taught just growing up, and look at them through an occult lens and wonder why. What could possibly doing this? What could be triggering it? And I'm actually wanting to do some video content on that. And Sissy, which is my aunt, we call her Sissy, she's supposed to get back with me and email me some stuff because she remembers a lot of them. I mean, I learned things about my family I didn't know. Like, they told me something about Mama Maine's husband that my mom won't like me if I share it, but like, I never knew it. I was like, why didn't anyone tell me this? And their answer was, well, that's just something you don't talk about in polite company. And I was like, since when do I count as polite? I was upset they didn't tell me. It was freaking cool. I might tell you all over on Locals. Let's see. I have 6 to 8 tacos myself. See, tacos, you got to have, yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. Drake, is there meat you won't eat no matter what, no matter how it's cooked? As long as it's okay to eat, like it's not poisonous or toxic or anything like that, I can't think of any meat that I won't eat. Like, I have had ostrich, I've had buffalo, I've had gator, I've had possum, I've had squirrel, I've had snake, I've had skunk, I've had goat. So, I mean, I've had Rocky Mountain oysters. So when it comes to, I don't really know. I mean, yes, there's like spoiled, maggot-filled meat that is toxic and will kill you. I won't eat that. But as long as it's, a meat that is safe to eat, I have no issues with it, personally speaking. Pop Smoking Heathen, thank you for the super chat, mate. If you're willing, I'd love to be involved in the Appalachian discussion. I've seen some things. Dun dun dun. Absolutely, Pop Smoking. Actually, would you like to? Are you wanting to just share some things for me to do a video on, or are you wanting to join in like a roundtable discussion? Because we'd love to have you if you got the free time to do it. Just let me know which direction you're thinking, because I know you have been on a roundtable with us before, Mick. And it's always good to get a fellow Appalachian's experiences in there. Berto, what do you find yourself defending yourself from spiritual? What do you mean? Like, honestly, spiritual attacks, they don't happen as often as people want to think they do. 99% of the time, spiritual attacks are actually more your paranoias and fears or your own shadow turning against you. It's not actually like a spiritual attack. This concept of evil out to get us, it's not really a thing. And that's not just a me thing. Like, I honestly, most of the practitioners, the successful practitioners I know of, none of them have to worry about spiritual attacks from entities. I suppose, we got a lot of bickering little dick humans out there who want to try and make a name for themselves, and they're happy to sling curses. The funny thing about those people, they're so ignorant in their own practice that their magics really don't do much. So I don't really find myself defending against much of anything spiritually at all, in truth. Seriously. The biggest things I would have to defend against is, like I said, my own shadow. And I do shadow work twice a year. One of the things I'm going to be doing this fall actually is attempting to, I've been working a lot on trying to articulate my shadow work process that I do twice a year. And I'm actually wanting to share that over at Locals. So yeah. Sorry if that was a bit of a downer of an answer, because some people usually are expecting a bit flashier answers from me. Jackie O'Lantern, catch you on Locals. Yeah. Every time I do a live over at Locals, they're replayable. So there's plenty of Locals only lives over there, Jackie. Definitely. And you'll be seeing more of us. So definitely, it gets fun over there. News on the Fey path working. Best news I can give is the last news I had. I am working on it. I am proofing it. I do not have a release date. Due to a lot of setbacks and stuff, like I'm having to do some reshoots on the Norse. And part of that is I'm actually doing, for the Norse course, as an example, supporters over at Locals, I'm actually releasing, I'm putting up Zoom calls that are accessible to Locals members only, where I'm going through some of the topics that we're going to show in the Norse course. So we're getting that information taught and up there, so we can even get feedback on it and some Q&A to make sure it's tweaked. So in a way, supporters are getting early access to that information. In fact, I got another one coming out in the next 2 weeks or so. So supporters, keep your eyes out. We'll be doing another workshop in that Norse course section. And that's actually helping me refine and reshoot the Norse course itself, right? And I'm doing that to refine my notes, while at the same time, I got to get Dragon Magic 103 shot. So the actual thing I'm filming for the online school right now is Dragon Magic 103, and the Norse course is actually being filmed and shot and uploaded in workshop fashion on Locals, but will eventually be refined and polished for the online school. The Fey path working, I am considering. One thing has been considered. This has been bumped around and talked around, and honestly, I'm waiting for essentially the Fey Queens to decide on it. There is a potential the Fey path working may be something that is taught live only on Locals for supporters. That is something that the Fey Queens have brought up because of their concerns of how certain things are handled with this path working. Like, this is one of the more complicated path workings I've ever had to do. And it's simplistic. Like on one hand, it looks so freaking simple, but then when you get into it and start practicing, it gets so freaking complicated. And it's been a real pain in the ass to try and format for a pre-filmed course. And the Queens pitched that ideal, and I admit I don't like the ideal because it's, it kind of limits it. And I don't like limiting. I want my info out there, right? But at the same time, with the way things are restricting, it may be an option because honestly, with the way advertising limitations are cracking down on channels like mine, we are getting to a point where genuinely I have to consider lowering the plan that I have for the online school, which means I may only be able to have 1 or 3 courses purchasable at any given time and have to rotate them out depending because of that. Because right now the plan I have, it lets me have the courses there, and I can still put, I think, 3 or 4 or something like that more courses up without any issue. But if we have to lower that payment in order to keep the school going, the courses that are going to take priority would be the Dragon Magic courses and stuff that's going to be available to more people or usable to more people, while other ones are going to rotate through seasonally possibly. And the Fae courses are so niche for so many people. The two things are kind of... I'm going to follow the Fae Queen's lead on this. I am, because I'm torn. I'm so torn on that. It's coming. You can guarantee the information's coming. And in truth, regardless of where it goes, my personal goal, this is Drake's goal, is for near Christmas to see the first drop, the first information of the summer Fae pathworking, the summer court, because that one should start at the winter solstice when the summer court takes over once more. And so if I have my way, you will see the first information so you can get prepared for it before the winter solstice. Does that make sense? I hope so. Jackie, oh my goodness, you have excellent taste in tea. Thank you. Daniel C. Is the heirs Goetia real? Did King Solomon actually build a temple with these demonic powers? I don't know if he actually built the temple with these demonic entities or powers. I will say the heirs Goetia as presented in the Lesser Key and Greater Key of Solomon, I have many, 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 many questions about, because it does present these demons as demons, but also at the same time, Solomon, in a lot of the writings about him, we're not entirely sure that Solomon worked with them directly in the way that is presented in those books. So there's a lot of things we don't know. And then I could even ask you, is any entity real? We don't know. We have no proof of any entity actually being real. All we have is our experiences, because we can't scientifically put in a bottle and prove the existence of any of these entities at all. And I would point you to a video I did, Are entities real or part of our subconscious? Look that video up, because that video applies to any entity out there, point blank. It's a great discussion, and it's one I have with a lot of colleagues of mine. And there's a lot of these myths and stuff, and we just genuinely don't know. I've had great success working within the Goetia with those entities. I've done path workings. I did a year or 2 with the Solomonic practices, doing it exactly like in the key. I did not get good results. And I shifted from that to doing the evocation style that I still use to this day. And I got amazing results. So that and $2 won't buy you coffee at Starbucks these days. But I mean, you got to try it and apply it and see what you get. We do have an evocation course at the school currently. It will take you start to finish an evocation, though I do, before you take that, make sure you've trained up your arcane senses to some point. There are exercises in it to help. There's also a free arcane senses course over at the school. because you can't do evocation without your arcane senses. Like evocation quite literally relies on your arcane senses. So X's 22. I hope that answers your questions on the Fae path working. And we got another one down here. Go back up there. Oh, somehow it jumped. Did it jump up? That's a first. Immortal's like, Heathen, round table with us if you can. We know what Immortal's vote is, Heathen. He wants you to round table. Oh, Lordy. Let's see. Gabriel, can you do a video about 10 signs there is draconic energy or dragon spirits around you and not know it? I mean, I could look into it. Dragons, here's the problem. Okay, so people want, like, I've seen these videos on TikTok and stuff like that, especially with fays and stuff. The problem with dragons is dragons don't just like sit and hang around. They will hang around certain environments, they'll move through and everything, but by and large, they don't take ownership or directly get involved most of the time, unless it's something dramatic, very dramatic. So at any given point on any place in this earth, you could say there's draconic energy around a person in some way. You would be very, very hard pressed, if impossible, to not find an area where dragon energy is there, honestly and truly. I've had kangaroo meat too. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I actually enjoyed it. Like my wife at Christmas time, she'll often buy me rare and exotic jerky or meats and sausages. I absolutely love them. She knows I'll eat anything. Let's see. Let's see. Can you describe the first time you met the Fae Queens? I think I've like so with Tatiana, it was more of I just kind of got dragged into it because I was doing some work in the Fae realms and she literally just decided to pop up in not such a happy manner because she had words she wanted to yell at me. And that was in no shape, form, or fashion fun nor friendly conversation at all. That would honestly, like, yeah. It was bad. I mean, it wasn't like a dangerous conversation. Well, I guess it was in a way, but it definitely was not a friendly thing in any way, nor did I want to see her again. But at that point in time, I'd also been working in the Fae realms for many years. My first actual foray into the Fae realms actually came when I was working with the Chaos Ruler, who decided he was going to introduce me to Queen Mab. And because he already had business in the Fae realm, and his business had him meeting with her. So I got dragged along, kicking and screaming against my will, because he's like, we're going to go ahead to the Fae realm. I need to talk to Mab. You're coming with me. No, I ain't. Yes, you are. That was literally it. And that encounter was pretty fucking terrifying. Anyone who's actually met Mab will know what I'm talking about. Her presence, whether you're looking at her or not, it is like an absolute torrent of murder. Like being stalked by a pack of lions would not feel this bad, really. Like she is that level of predator. I think I'd rather be stalked by a T-Rex, in truth, or even a Velociraptor. So it's one of those things. At the same time, you know, I was expected to participate in this conversation to the best of my ability. And yeah, so that was literally my first meeting with her. And then through the dragons, you know, the dragons work with the Fae realms quite a bit. So I was constantly bouncing in and out of the Fae realms, occasionally working with the dragons and helping out with different projects in the Fae realms. And slowly but surely, Mab kept popping up, kept popping up. Originally, I think she was just popping up to see me shit my pants. I really do. And slowly I got a little bit more used to her. She would, I mean, even before I was used to her, she'd be asking me questions, and I'm running through my brain trying to answer these and, not get caught in a loophole and everything. Because I've been working in Fey realms. I know very well, they can get you real quick with words. But she's really the one that I connected with first and most. And it was years later that her sister popped up. It's only been in like last 5 or 6 years that I've really been working more with Tatiana. And part of that was sort of a favor for Mab, and sort of to get my ass out of hot water for another thing. Let's see. I would become your supporter just to do this. Well, definitely jump over to Locals. It's only $10 a month to support us. Alex, I can't finish your full name because if I do, my assistant over here is not muted and she's going to start bitching. So Alex, if you would, by all means, support us over there. You're going to be seeing that Fae content's going to be coming out one way or the other. And even if it doesn't show up at the school, we're going to be talking about it bare minimum at Locals. So if you support us at Locals, you're guaranteed to start seeing some of that Fae content coming out. Guaranteed, no questions asked. Loon, what happened to the Gilded? Gilded deleted us. They just deleted us. Point blank. We set up a Discord again. We know Discord deleted us once, but we also set it up very bare bones framework. Very, very bare bones. And we're going to leave it bare bones. That way, if they delete us, we can just have it back up inside of 24 hours and just post a new link. And you have to be a member of Locals to be a member of the Discord. And the name your Discord name in the channel has to match Locals or you will be removed from the channel. But yeah, unfortunately, censorship is getting to be a bitch around the globe. And you can bet I'm going to do everything I can to fight for free speech. So, and as much as I try to stay out of these fights on this channel, it may get to the point, people, where we at Working Dragon Mystic might have to start throwing our hat into the ring more and be like, hey, we got some shit to say. You ain't shutting us up. Because at a point, it leaves politics and becomes like, this is the right thing to do. I will look up that our entity's real video. Personally, I feel that we're all part of a larger consciousness, overlapping spheres of consciousness. That makes sense. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I'm still a little out on where I stand by that. A lot of times I say, I'm not sure I believe that. And I don't know if I'm not sure I believe that is the correct wording for it, because I do think the Norse concept of the web of the weird is actually a very good concept where all things are interconnected in some way. Whether or not we're all part of a singular consciousness, I'm not ultimately sure on that. Personally speaking, the jury's still out. At the same time, I see the logic behind it. So it's one of those lovely little things I love to meditate on and think on and discuss often. Mathis, you're looking for, make sure make sure you are supporting us at Locals over there if you're interested in these path workings that are coming up. Two reasons. So Locals not only protects the creator, they're not only a free speech platform, they give us a lot of tools, okay? And they are working very hard to meet the needs of their creators. Like they used to have 5 live streams a week that I could do, right? Over there. And the larger your community supporters, the more tools they give you, because, server size and stuff is a thing, right? So they make sure the larger communities have more server space for those reasons. They contacted me personally to set up a voice chat over video and ask what our community needed, what our little occult community needed. And we told them. Now, they couldn't give us everything immediately, but one thing they did to make sure we could meet the needs of the community, they immediately removed our stream limit. Immediately. We have unlimited streams, but the streams are still capped at 30 minutes. If we can get active supporters, so every month we have 50 active supporters, if we can get to that goal, we actually unlock the ability to stream for, I want to say it's 1 to 2 hours. Which will allow us to do even more for the community, to grow it even more. So in all honesty, if you really want to help the channel, if you really want to help us get this information out, I know I don't push it enough. I probably should, but go to Locals and sign up. It's $10 a month, and that $10 gets you access to the supporter-only content and gets you access to anytime I do a workshop, supporters get access to the workshops for free. Whether even when it's over, when I put a workshop on Teachables, local supporters can get access to that for free. Okay. We've been testing uploading some of the courses even to playlists for supporters only. Dragon Magic 101 is one of the ones we're testing. I know I haven't uploaded any of the additional content, but we're doing a lot of stuff over there. And it's possible that if we get to the point where we have to shut down the school may move over to Locals. But yeah, there's plenty of little come and hang out with Drakes, ask questions. Friday we did you could come in there on Locals and ask me anything. There was no restrictions. There wasn't. As long as my family was safe with the question I was answering, I would answer it. So we do a lot of things over there. If you're on, that's honestly the best way to support the channel. Even better than supporting us as YouTube members, because YouTube take a huge chunk of those membership fees. But over at Locals, we only have one tier. It's just the $10, and you get the whole shebang. Okay. But we definitely are going to be doing a lot more over there too. So. Let's see what we got. We're definitely running a little over here, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's see if I can look through here, see what I've missed. Oh God, Drake, what did you do to make her mad? I don't know if I'm allowed to explain that situation. I don't. I will say this though. I stuck my neck out for another person. When it came to Tatiana, and this was after I done pissed her off, like she did not like me. Like 2 years of every time I meet her, she just like the worst Karen on the planet. Like seriously, she did not like me. And for whatever reason, I decided to help an individual. I stuck my neck out for this individual. They wanted specifically to work with the summer court, and they did so. But part of this was, what if they can't uphold their bargain? Blah blah blah. You're the one getting me to help them and do this. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, if they drop the ball, if they fail, it's your ass on the hook. And like a dumbass, I agreed to it. And to this day, that bites me in the ass. I never should have done it. Never should have done it. And Tatiana is very happy to remind me I'm on a hook because of another person. But at the same time, I would say that by and large, it's, me and Tatiana are getting to know each other. Our personalities are different, but we are getting to know one another and see the strengths in each other. And it's been interesting. Like she's really interested in the Fae path working and getting that shared in the way she wants it. Like, so the fact that the Fae one's coming before the winter one kind of surprises me, because I'll be honest, like I'm terrified to fuck up the summer one. Because I have a better repertoire with Mab. I really do. I'm not saying I'm not afraid of her, but I think I honestly think Mab enjoys having me around like you enjoy having a chihuahua. It serves no purpose, but hey, it's cute. That's honestly how I feel Mab sees me. As just this cute little thing to have around the house. But at least that gives me a comfort level with her that I don't have with Tatiana at this time. But yeah, those are coming and they're going to be fascinating. I will say that I do have one individual who I'm working with that is working through the winter path working in some version of it, not the finished version, but some version of it. And their notes will probably help to polish off the winter path working, which hopefully, if things go as I want, of course, the queens veto me, but by the summer solstice, we should be hearing something about the winter path working. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. If you pissed off the Fae, you'd know it. They make sure you know it. Do Matt and Tatiana get along in the face of something? Tolerate each other is a good word for it. Like they are sisters. They care for each other. I would use the word they love each other. I mean, some people's like, are Fae capable of love? Okay, fine. I understand the philosophical question. But I honestly would say they love each other, even as sisters. At the same time, they are rivals and competitors. There's no question asked. But both need each other in that flow and system of balance. So it's like they keep each other in check while at the same time competing as rivals. It's a weird, complex situation. And yeah, I've seen them in a shouting match, and I just wanted to disappear. And unfortunately, it was one of those little things where disappearing was not an option. They made sure of it. And don't ever want to do it again. Let's see. Sorry you got caught in the rambling. No problem. No problem. Jade's at a fundraiser, and she's where she needs to be for sure. Thank you, Immortal, for sharing the locals link. Yes, I'm going to hurry up and wrap up here. Everyone, thank you. We will be doing, like I said, Magical Coffee Hours moving to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Join us. We are going to, guess, weirdly become something closer to a podcast or a weekly show or whatever they call those things these days. And I owe it all to you all in the community because I do this for you all. So thank you very much. And again, if you actually want to support us and what we do, go to locals, sign up as a supporter over there. $10 a month can make a huge difference. We actually do have a goal by Halloween, I think it is, possibly the end of the year, to hit 50 active supporters regularly. Now, the reason that goal's there is twofold. Let me be honest with you. First one, it unlocks a lot more tools, which allows us to do a lot more workshops, longer live streams, those kinds of things for the supporters and the community over at locals, right? Secondly, I did the math. And if we hit that number, if we hit 50 and we can hold 50 for a while, let's say if we average 50 active supporters a month, I would encourage us to grow it to 100. But let's say we just hit 50, right? We don't have to worry about any level of demonetization across any platform, period. That would allow us to keep things running relatively as they are. Now, granted, I did the math before the school increase, but I think, now don't hold me to this, but I think that would allow us to keep the school where it's currently at. But even if it just let us down that, we'd only have to downgrade it one instead of like right now, if we get demonetized, I got to downgrade that thing like 2 or 3 levels, and that's going to suck balls. So that 50 active supporters, if the community can get us there, we're off the hangman's noose, people. There's no hooks. We are free. We can rock and roll and continue doing what we're doing because we don't need ad revenue. We don't need any of that. We can just keep doing what we're doing. And from there, once we're free and able to do, then we just grow and keep doing what we're doing to the best of our ability and see how far we can take this train. So in all honesty, if you believe in what we do, consider supporting us over there. And I promise you, you won't regret it, because we got a lot of great things coming and planned for the supporters. And a lot of the schedule changing and shuffling is part of that. The first major change is getting used to this new pattern of the weekly MCHs, but I got some pretty cool things coming. I really do. And honestly, before Halloween, I want all those changes in place if I can get my way. All right. All right. Everybody, you have a fantastic week. And I guess I'll be seeing you Wednesday. Take care. Good night.